We are back with our big news roundup number 12. Lots of Supergirl news to cover today, so let's get right to it. Several new characters will be joining the show next season, including Lena Luthor, sister of Lex Luthor. This could be interesting. Max Lord held the Luthor role in the first season. I do hope he'll be back, and maybe there'll be some sort of collusion between the two. Maggie Sawyer, who was famous as a cop in the Superman books for a time, now she's mostly tied to Gotham and known as Batwoman's love interest. It'll be interesting to see if they relocate her to National City, or if this sets her up for some kind of crossover in Metropolis. Snapper Carr is also joining the show. The little I know of him in the comics, he seems to be a fun character. It looks possible that he might be taking over for Cat Grant for some duration of time. As of now, we still don't know to what extent Callista Flockhart will be involved in the show, either as a recurring character that shows up now and again, or if she'll be written out entirely. Next we have Nick Farrow, who is not an actual comic character. He's described as a famous reporter. Could he be another love interest, or is he out to cause trouble for the Maid of Might? The Doctor, described as the diabolical female leader of Cadmus. Obviously this character will probably be the main baddie of the season, since one of the unresolved plotlines from last season was Cadmus keeping Jeremiah Danvers prisoner. And now the big one. Superman himself is set to appear in a 2-episode arc at the start of the season. Now I'm kinda wondering how they'll play this. If this is an honest-to-goodness attempt to put Superman in this universe as a recurring character. What I fear is that they'll use this opportunity to ship him out of the universe for the foreseeable future. I don't get why people get so hung up with superheroes in live action. When you read the comics, you don't really consider, well, why doesn't Superman go help Batman? Because it isn't Superman's book, and he's got his own problems in his own book to be spending time helping everybody else. Anyway, the big question on everybody's mind seems to be who's going to play the Man of Steel. A lot of people want to see it be a past Superman actor, and me, for my part, I disagree. On the one hand, they're never going to let Henry Cavill, the current Superman, play the role so long as he's still playing the character on film. Brandon Routh is busy already in this continuity as Ray Palmer in Legends of Tomorrow, so it's not likely going to be him. And I liked Routh as Superman and Clark in Superman Returns. For all the problems that film has, he's not one of them. Then we come to Tom Welling, the not-quite Superman from Smallville. And a lot of people are pushing for him. I don't really dislike Welling as an actor, but he doesn't, to me at least, have the presence that even Routh has for Superman. It doesn't really help that he really only played a proto-Superman in the past. He never even really wore the costume. They just superimposed his head over a CGI body, so I don't know that he'd even really want to play a full-fledged Superman now. He certainly never wanted any part of the tights in the past. It also brings up a ton of continuity issues. People will be confused if this Clark is the Smallville Clark, but he can't be because they already had Laura Vandervoot as Supergirl on that show. So I really hope they go with a new face for Soup this time out and establish a new version of the character. Maybe give Welling another role if he wants to be on the show, like Dean Cain and Helen Slater has. That would be fine. Good news, bad news time. Good news is Vixen is supposedly joining the cast of Legends of Tomorrow. The bad news is she won't be played by Megalyn E.K., who played her so well in Arrow this past season. She's apparently too busy with other projects, so word is the new Vixen will be an earlier incarnation of the character that may or may not be related to EK's version. And we have some pics of Wolverine 3 that just surfaced. Shots of Patrick Stewart, as rumored, returning to the role of Professor X along with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Looks like they're accompanied by a little girl who could turn out to be X-23. Logan seems to be sporting a heavy beard this time around, and once again, he's wearing a dress suit. I just watched The Wolverine again recently, and it's still a great movie, but I was a bit put off by Logan wearing suits and heavy overcoats. I mean, I really want to see Hugh in the comic costume at some point, but I'll be satisfied to see him back in the brown leather jacket from the early films. Whenever Logan looks too spiffed up, it just looks wrong to me. Rumor has it the official title for this film will be Wolverine, Weapon X. Sorry if this news roundup is a little bit late, but I've been having a lot of technical issues with my camera. My last two reviews, Daredevil Season 2 and Turtles Out of the Shadows, both were delayed slightly because I had to re-record certain portions because of technical difficulties. And the same thing happened with this episode. So barring any more technical difficulties, this is your humble servant, Johnny Torch, reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.